everyone, Rob Scott here from UC Today. In this session, we're cutting through the noise to talk about one of the biggest blockers in unified communications, and that's migrations. So if you're a service provider, an operator, or a partner wrestling with legacy PBX estates, patchy workflows, and multi-UC chaos, this one is for you. So Nuwave's Teleport is shaking up the market. It's a free tool that's built for partners that promises to make voice and UC migrations frictionless, fast, and finally, future ready. So joining me today are two people at the heart of this movement: Mark Bunnell, COO of Nuwave, the man leading the charge with iPilot and Teleport, and Joel Keene, Director of Products and Innovation at Continuant, a partner already seeing real-world impact from Nuwave's latest innovation. So let's dive into the challenges, the game-changing features, and what this means for the future of cloud communications. Welcome, Mark, and welcome, Joel. Thanks for joining me. Mark, let's kick off with a bit of background. Why did Nuwave firstly build Teleport as a free tool for its partners, and kind of what pain points in the migration process were you trying to solve ultimately?
Well, I think that, as we go through and look at UC and the migrations to cloud, all the low-hanging fruit is gone. I mean, all the people who could move are pretty much, have moved to the different services. And when we have pulled our customers and partners time and time again, what is the next feature that we need to have that would be the most beneficial to you? Migrations took out over and over and over again. Because the person who's typically running the phone system today isn't the person who set it up, and they want to move to the cloud, but they don't know what string to pull first. And so, we decided that, like everything else we do, we want to take really complex issues and make them very simple. And so we built Teleport to assist with, that discovery of the, legacy PBX, and then put guardrails around it and made it a fully integrated solution so that it can be coordinated and configured in a very simple way, that you don't have to have an engineering degree to basically, use the tool and then figure out how to migrate automatically to the cloud. So that was the main impetus behind, setting it up and getting it out there to our partners.
Yeah, fantastic. And we've got Continuant on the line here. How does a partner like Continuant fit into Nuwave's go-to-market strategy for Teleport?
Well, Continuant's a great partner. They have the feet on the street, the pulse of the customers. They manage, large enterprise customers all the way down to SMB. And so, giving them the tools and helping them be successful in the market is what we're all about. And Continuant is a great partner that has a tremendous customer base, and they're always friendly to help us not only, give us ideas on where we should go next with innovation, but also, being friendly to test out features, to give us their feedback, and so that we can make adjustments and rapidly iterate our products and services to make them better.
Yeah, and Joel, from your perspective at Continuant, what made Teleport stand out as a solution you needed to adopt?
Sure. So, Continuant being a UC and CX managed services company going back, 30 years, where we were dealing with hardware, telephony, and PBXs, and then all the way through to today, where we work with Nuwave and its iPilot platform to help manage our migrations to cloud-based comms for a lot of organizations. To Mark's point, large global enterprises all the way down to SMB. And while we reviewed a number of different CPaaS platforms, and checked out a number of different discovery tools, we find that they rarely work in tandem, and a lot of times we find we have to piece those together. And Teleport really changed that for us, allowing us to accelerate migrations from those legacy platforms. And some of that is simply by easing that burden of migrating those organizations, largely by giving us insights previously requiring heavy coordination with corporate IT systems or doing discovery reviews on our own. So we were able to accelerate a lot of that, which results in a much smoother migration process.
Well, to your point, let's talk about the process. What does Teleport allow you to do that you couldn't do efficiently before, and what manual tasks or technical blockers has it eliminated for your teams?
Sure. So, anybody that's been in the space for a while knows the biggest pain point right away, and that is a lot of the knowledge of what's going on in those systems gets lost over time, right? So you have changing resources, you have lack of documentation, any number of things that can make discovery difficult or weigh heavily on those customers that are looking to move. And that's particularly true with aging systems. And what we found with Teleport is it not only allows us to extract that data directly from the systems themselves, but parses it and alerts us to some of the concerns that need to be addressed based on destination platforms, right? And that includes anything from phones, right, that might need to be replaced, or changes that might need to be made to existing call flows. And that's been hugely beneficial for large organizations, especially ones that have multiple disparate PBXs. And it allows us to focus on those challenges and defining those solutions uncovered by Teleport.
Mm-hmm. The other key piece that I'd like to throw in there too is that there are other systems to Joel's point earlier of having disparate systems. One technology will do discovery, another one will have to deal with implementation, but we wanted to make sure that there was a holistic approach to it. And so not only is there the things that Joel mentioned, but it's fully integrated into iPilot so that you can also coordinate with your carriers, the porting process, the migration, the building of these things in the target, destination system and things like that. So it's a fully holistic approach, to migration.
That's great. And Joel, has Teleport improved, or how has it improved the delivery, in terms of time, resources, and costs? And have you seen any measurable savings? And does that benefit pass on to your customers ultimately?
Oh, absolutely. So right out of the gate, right, the human latency in working through these processes have largely been reduced, right? So we don't need to work with corporate IT and coordinate nearly as much as we have in the past just to figure out what the configuration is like in a particular system, or fully understand what they're trying to do with anything, because we have that information right at our fingertips, right? And while we've been doing a lot of that for years with scripting like anyone else, really having, to Mark's point, having that integrated in iPilot has made a huge difference in allowing our implementation engineers to move forward, so our design engineers can really focus on those more challenging aspects of that migration. And that reduced resource cost allows us to be competitive in the deployment space, sometimes even removing onboarding costs entirely. So it always works to the customer's benefit, as we're dedicated to ensuring that value, as well as offering premier services and a broad selection of cutting-edge technologies like iPilot. And this always results in a much lower time to deploy, which is important for many of our customers looking to really and quickly realize their return on investment.
Yeah, that's superb. And so, to your point, has Teleport changed the way you position voice migrations in those customer conversations? And does having the capability give you a competitive edge in the sales cycle?
Yeah, again, so customers are generally very aware of what they know and what they don't know about their systems. And so for a lot of them, it's also their first migration away from a legacy platform into some sort of UC space that they probably haven't spent a lot of time in before, which for those organizations comes with a lot of education and scrutiny, trying to understand how those changes impact that organization. And with Teleport, we can actually reduce, if not remove, those blockers and concerns almost entirely, right? So it gives us a clear view into a customer's environment and what they're trying to do, allows us to define a strategy highlighting any real concerns right up front. All of that results in more confidence from our customers, better decision-making, and reduced sales cycle times, particularly for larger organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they also get, it's a full life cycle. So you have A to Z. So think of Teleport as A, and then when we get after the migration happens, if you're expecting a customer to move from an on-premise phone system to a cloud phone system, you still have to give them the same level of visibility and control of that cloud phone system as if it was on-prem. And so with Teleport and iPilot, you get to use that to do the migration, but then after it's migrated, now you have all the control and visibility day two with iPilot moving forward. So that way the customer can feel comfortable. Not only did I get the migration handled, but now I have this platform that I can do everything else that I need to do in the future.
Yeah. And Joel, Nuwave is known for being collaborative with its partners. Can you share any examples where you've influenced maybe the feature development or received kind of hands-on enablement from the Nuwave team?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be prouder of the partnership we have with Nuwave, right? Their team regularly regards and positively responds to feature requests, including changes to iPilot. When working with Teleport and while they were developing it, we largely work to help define the direction of those audit reports and really what's uncovered and discovered. And since we have a hand on virtually every digital and IP PBX out there, Nuwave relied on our extensive deployment expertise to get some of that data transformation sorted out for various platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. The partnership has been excellent. Where we really love to collaborate with our partners and get the feedback. I mean, we as Nuwave, right, have a lot of experience. We understand things, pretty well, but you can conceptually build a product like Teleport, but until you actually have it do real world, use cases and get the data out and things like that, you have to rapidly iterate of anything that we do. And so Continuant has been very helpful in helping us do that rapid iteration to get it fine tuned to be deployable by everyone else. So having them as a partner has been instrumental in the success of Teleport.
Yeah, it's really great to hear. And in terms of customer feedback and, from your clients at Continuant, Joel, have you had any feedback, any specific kind of success stories that you can share with us?
Largely, I would say that the initial audit work is probably the biggest impact for a lot of our customers. It's really difficult to overstate kind of the number of customer interactions we've had where they've lost that tribal knowledge and really don't have visibility into what's going on with their telephony environment, right? So it allows us to again build some confidence behind that roadmap and the way that they're moving forward, and we can dig in pretty deeply as well as pull their environment, and all that allows for that accelerated decision cycles for customers, and which makes a really big difference in again their decision making skills, right, and the way they want to move things forward. So while we do a lot of the work for our customers in the deployment and migration space, many of the customers understand the value of Teleport for us in just being more efficient and effective, which gets passed through to the customer benefit.
So finally, for other service providers or MSPs watching this video, what's your message to them about the opportunity Teleport's bringing to the table?
Well, I'd say as we get more and more inundated with automation, right, particularly with the advent of AI-driven processes, there's that growing expectation that migrations are going to be easier and easier as we move to modern technologies. UC is not immune to that really at all, right? So while that perception stands, and there are a variety of tools out there that can be tied together in various ways to accomplish this, Continuant has found a huge benefit in Teleport as a native to Nuwave's iPilot platform. So it allows us full control and efficiency, really unmatched by other solution approaches.
That's great. Mark, anything to add?
Well, I mean, I think just from a overall Nuwave and iPilot perspective, like we're committed to making sure that our partners have the best tools. So yes, it starts with Teleport and things like that, but it's a holistic solution. I mean, we are committed to software. We have a huge development team, and we're always going to be adding innovations to the platform, and we're about value. So it's not about nickel and diming, like for example, right? Teleport is free. And we're going to continue to provide solutions like that, integrations like that. We're going to come out with a whole bunch of AI, things that we have in our lab right now that'll be keeping pace with what needs to happen in the market. And so our commitment to Joel and other partners is just to make sure that we continue to be on the forefront of all of these different technologies and can continue to add them to a comprehensive platform.
Yeah, and that's so important, isn't it? Well, there you have it, folks. Real world insight straight from the front lines. What we're seeing with Teleport isn't just another migration tool. It really feels like a shift in how service providers like Continuant approach complex UC transformation. So as Joel's shared, when you're sitting on decades of legacy PBX database and configurations, tribal knowledge fades fast. So Teleport doesn't just help you migrate, it's really pulling that data out of those old systems, and it's flagging up those issues, up front, and fast tracks the whole process for everyone involved. So if you're a service provider still battling fragmented tools or slow rollouts or expensive onboarding, maybe it's time to rethink your approach. Teleport is native to iPilot, so it's fast and it's free, and it's helping partners win. So big thanks to Mark Bunnell and Joel Keene for their insights today. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you're curious, head over to nuwave.com to learn more, request a demo, or dig into how this fits into your UC strategy. I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.